Let me ask you something right now. Have you ever wondered why some men chase women endlessly for sex, but never actually commit to them? Why is it that even after intimacy, he can walk away, act distant, or worse, act like you were just another fling? Here's the truth that most people don't talk about. Sex is not what makes a man fall in love. It can grab his attention. Yes, it can spark attraction, of course, but it's not the glue that makes him stay, invest, or see you as the one. And I'll tell you why. Because underneath the surface, men have deeper emotional needs that are far more powerful than physical desire, needs that many women don't even realize exist. And when those needs are met, a man doesn't just want your body, he craves your presence, your energy, and your love in a way he can't shake off. Think of it like this: sex might open the door, but it's not what keeps him in the house. What keeps him is how you make him feel about himself when he's with you. And here's the exciting part. Once you understand these needs, you won't have to guess where you stand with him. You won't have to compete with other women. You won't have to chase, because he'll be the one chasing you, not because of lust, but because he feels something with you that he can't find anywhere else. So today, I'm going to break down the 4 needs men have that are stronger than sex. These are the hidden triggers that make a man fall deeply emotionally and wholeheartedly for you. And if you learn how to connect with these, you'll never again have to wonder, does he really love me? One of the most powerful forces in a man's life, the thing that can make him fall harder than sex ever will, is admiration. Now, a lot of people confuse admiration with flattery. Flattery is shallow. It's saying things like, "You're so handsome," or "You're so strong," in a generic way. Admiration, on the other hand, is deep. It's about noticing who he really is and acknowledging the qualities, actions, and efforts that make him unique. Here's the truth: men crave admiration because deep down they are constantly asking themselves a silent question: am I enough? And while they may not say it out loud, they feel it every single day. They feel it when they go to work and wonder if they're achieving enough. They feel it when they're providing for their families or building their careers. They feel it when they step into a relationship and silently ask, does she really see me? Does she really respect me? Think about how powerful it feels when someone recognizes the best in you. Imagine a man solving a small problem, maybe fixing something in your home or handling a difficult conversation at work, and instead of brushing it off, you say, "I really admire how calm you stayed in that situation. Most people would have lost their cool, but you handled it so well." Do you know what that does to him? It makes him feel like a superhero in your eyes, and men fall in love with the woman who makes them feel like the best version of themselves. It's not about ego stroking, it's about making him feel seen. Because here's a little secret: men are often starving for admiration. They may have friends who joke with them, colleagues who respect their skills, but very few people stop to genuinely appreciate their character. When you do, it creates an emotional bond that no physical intimacy can replace. Now, here's the catch: admiration has to be authentic. If you just throw compliments at him, he'll know it's fake. What really makes a man's heart open is when you admire specific things he does or specific qualities he shows. Maybe it's the way he treats people with kindness. Maybe it's how hard he works toward his goals. Maybe it's his sense of humor that lifts you up when you're stressed. Those little acknowledgements are the fuel that makes him not only want to stay close to you, but also rise to be an even better man for you. There's another layer here. Men fall for women who admire effort, not just results. If he's working towards something, even if he hasn't fully achieved it yet, and you say, "I admire how determined you are. I can see how much effort you're putting into this," you're speaking directly to his soul, because you're telling him, "I don't just want the finished product. I believe in you while you're becoming." And that is incredibly rare. When a man feels admired by you, you stop being just a partner. He starts to see you as his safe space, the person who fuels his confidence and his purpose. And that bond runs deeper than anything physical. So if you're wondering why some men can have sex and leave, it's because sex alone doesn't touch this need. But when you touch his soul through admiration, when he feels that you not only desire him, but also respect and value him, that's when he attaches himself to you in a way that goes beyond the bedroom. And that, ladies, is one of the most powerful ways to make him fall deeply, passionately, and wholeheartedly in love. Emotional safety. This is something men don't often talk about, but it's one of the strongest needs they have if they're going to fall deeply in love. See, A lot of women assume that men are these confident, unshakable creatures who don't get insecure, who don't overthink, who don't worry about being judged. But the truth is, men may look strong on the outside, but on the inside, many of them are walking around with scars, doubts, and fears they don't share with anyone. And here's the thing, most men have been taught their whole lives not to show weakness, to man up, to hide their struggles, to put on a mask of confidence and toughness even when they're hurting. And because of that, when it comes to relationships, men are deeply protective of their inner world. They don't just let anyone in. They'll share laughs, they'll share experiences, and yes, they'll share sex. But their vulnerabilities, their private fears, the part of them that worries they're not good enough, that part stays locked away until they find a woman who makes them feel safe enough to reveal it. Emotional safety is when a man knows that he can open up about something real without being judged, criticized, or shamed. It's when he feels that you won't use his vulnerability against him in a fight or mock him for not being strong enough. It's when he trusts that his heart in your hands won't be broken by cruelty or indifference. And when a man finds this kind of safety, something magical happens. He starts showing you sides of himself no one else gets to see. He tells you about his childhood dreams. He shares his doubts about the future. He admits when he feels insecure or uncertain. And in doing so, he bonds with you in a way he simply cannot bond with someone he only sees as a physical partner. Think of it this way. If sex is the doorway to his body, emotional safety is the doorway to his soul. And when you walk through that door, you're in a place most people will never reach. Now, let me be clear, emotional safety doesn't mean you never hold him accountable. It doesn't mean you agree with everything he says or let him off the hook when he messes up. What it does mean is that you create an environment where honesty is met with compassion, where struggles are met with understanding, and where his mistakes aren't weaponized against him. That's the difference between a woman who a man enjoys for a season and a woman he can't imagine living without. Most men, even the most confident ones, have been hurt before. They've had moments where opening up led to rejection or humiliation. So when you become the person who shows him that you don't have to pretend with me, you don't have to perform, you don't have to be perfect, you can just be real. He begins to feel something that goes beyond attraction. He feels safe, and safety is addictive. A man might have fun with the woman who excites him, but he will commit to the woman who makes him feel safe, because excitement fades, but safety builds trust. And trust, that's the foundation of lifelong love. So ladies, if you want to know why some men open up to one woman and not another, it's because with one he feels judged and with the other he feels accepted. And if you can be that woman who creates emotional safety, you'll have something stronger than passion, stronger than lust. You'll have his heart. Respect. If admiration is what makes a man feel seen, respect is what makes him feel valued. And for men, respect is not just important, it's absolutely essential. In fact, it's often the difference between whether a man stays emotionally invested in a relationship or slowly pulls away. A lot of people think love is just about affection, passion, or chemistry. But here's the truth, a man can be wildly attracted to you. He can even say he loves you, but if he doesn't feel respected, he won't stay connected at the deepest level. See, respect to a man is like oxygen. Without it, he suffocates. He may keep showing up physically, but emotionally, he's already gone. And it doesn't always happen in big, dramatic ways. Sometimes it happens slowly through constant criticism, dismissing his ideas, or belittling his efforts. Over time, he starts to feel like he can't win with you. And when a man feels disrespected in his relationship, he'll begin to distance himself. Not because he doesn't care, but because no one wants to feel like they're failing in the very place they most want to succeed. Respect doesn't mean you agree with everything he says. It doesn't mean you never challenge him. What it does mean is that you show him that his thoughts, his efforts, and his presence matter. It's about making him feel like his contribution to your life has value. For example, let's say he tries to fix something in the house and it doesn't go perfectly. Respect isn't rolling your eyes and saying, "Ugh, you can't do anything right." Respect is smiling and saying, "Thank you for trying. I really appreciate that you wanted to help." Do you see the difference? One tears him down, the other lifts him up. And here's something women sometimes forget. Respect doesn't just come from your words, it comes from your actions. If you're constantly second guessing him, correcting him in front of others, or making him feel small, it chips away at his sense of worth. But if you encourage him, trust his judgment sometimes, and let him lead in certain areas without making him feel like he's under a microscope, you're showing him respect in a way that speaks directly to his heart. Now, let me be clear, respect is not about putting him on a pedestal. It's not about letting him walk all over you or ignoring your own needs. In fact, true respect goes both ways. But what makes a man fall deeply for a woman is when he feels that she respects who he is, not just for what he can give, not just for how much money he makes, not just for what he looks like, but for the way he shows up as a man. That kind of respect is rare, and when a man finds it, he will do everything in his power to hold on to it. Think of it like this: admiration makes him feel like a hero in your eyes, but respect makes him feel like a king in your life. And when he feels like a king, not because you treat him like he's better than you, but because you treat him as an equal who deserves value, he will treat you like his queen. At the end of the day, respect is not about grand gestures. It's in the little moments. It's in listening when he talks, even about something you don't fully understand. It's in thanking him for what he does, even when it's small. It's in believing in him when he doubts himself. That's the kind of respect that makes a man not just want you, but commit to you with his whole heart. When most people talk about desire, they immediately think about sex. They think about passion in the bedroom, physical attraction, intimacy behind closed doors. And yes, that matters. But what so many women don't realize is that for a man, one of the deepest needs he has is to feel desired outside of sex. Because here's the thing, sex alone doesn't tell a man that you want him. Sex could be about convenience, habit, or even obligation. But when you show him that you want him in everyday moments, that's when it becomes something much more powerful. Imagine this: you're sitting on the couch together and you lean over and touch his arm, not because you're initiating intimacy, but just because you love being close to him. Or you see him walk into the room after a long day and your face lights up, not because he brought you something, not because he's about to do something for you, but simply because he's there. That right there is desire outside of sex, and men crave it, even though they rarely admit it. Men want to feel like more than a provider, more than a body, more than someone you tolerate. They want to feel like their presence excites you, like you genuinely look forward to being around them, like you choose them every day, not because you need to, but because you want to. And when a man feels that kind of desire, it builds a connection that no amount of physical passion alone can create. Here's what a lot of women miss when you only show him affection in the bedroom. He begins to question, does she really want me, or does she just see sex as part of the routine? But when you flirt with him in the kitchen, when you send him a playful text in the middle of the day, when you grab his hand while you're walking through the grocery store, you're telling him, I want you. I like you. I still get excited about you. And that makes him feel chosen in a way sex alone never could. Think about how you feel when a man looks at you like you're the most beautiful woman in the room, even when you're in sweats with messy hair. That feeling, that sense of being truly wanted, is what men crave too. It's not about perfection. It's not about constant seduction. It's about those little signals that say, I still see you, I still want you, I still choose you. And here's the beautiful part: when a man feels desired outside of sex, it actually enhances the passion inside the bedroom, because he doesn't just feel like you're responding to physical needs. He feels like you're drawn to him as a person. And that kind of desire, that makes him want to give more, open up more, and pour more of himself into the relationship. At the end of the day, men don't just want to be needed. They don't just want to feel useful. They want to feel irresistible to you. They want to know that when they walk into your world, they light you up. And when you can give that to a man, not through grand gestures, but through those small, everyday moments of affection and attention, you give him something deeper than attraction. You give him the certainty that he is wanted, chosen, and desired in every part of life, not just in the bedroom. And when he feels that, ladies, that's when he doesn't just fall for you physically, he falls for you completely. One of the most overlooked needs men have, the one that often explains why they choose one woman over another, is the need for purpose in a relationship. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that men, just like women, want to feel that their love story isn't just about filling time. It's about building something meaningful together. It's about being part of a bigger picture, a shared vision, a life where his role has value beyond boyfriend or husband. See, A man can enjoy passion with one woman, comfort with another, and even admiration from someone else. But what makes him truly invest, what makes him put his heart and soul into the relationship, is when he feels that being with you gives his life a greater sense of purpose. It's not just about enjoying each other's company. It's about feeling that the two of you together are creating something he couldn't create alone. Think about it. When a man wakes up next to you and feels like he's working toward a future that matters, he doesn't just see you as a partner in the present. He sees you as part of his destiny, and that is where deep, lasting commitment comes from. Men want to feel that their efforts, their sacrifices, and their love are part of something that matters. Not just a temporary fling, not just an endless cycle of dating, but a partnership that makes his life bigger than it was before. And here's the secret: it doesn't always have to be about grand goals like buying a house or raising a family. Purpose can be as simple as knowing that you're a team, that you both have each other's backs, that together you lift each other higher than you could go alone. For some men, purpose looks like building a family. For others, it's supporting each other's dreams. For others still, it's knowing they're part of a love that pushes them to be a better man every day. Here's the beautiful thing: when a man feels this sense of purpose, he doesn't just commit half-heartedly. He leans in, he invests, he goes the extra mile, because he doesn't just see the relationship as something fun. He sees it as essential to the life he wants to live. You stop being an option and you become his mission. And when a man feels like you are part of his mission, that's when he truly falls deeply and irreversibly. But here's where some women go wrong. They confuse purpose with pressure. They think creating purpose means pushing for timelines, ultimatums, or constant reminders of what's missing. But that's not what draws a man in. What draws him in is when he naturally feels that his life has more meaning with you in it. That with you, he's not just existing, he's becoming. That he's not just surviving, he's building. Men fall hardest when they feel that their love story with you gives them something bigger than themselves. It might be the way you support him when he doubts himself, the way you celebrate his wins, or the way you dream together about what your future could look like. Those moments create a sense of purpose that makes him want to hold on tight. At the end of the day, men don't just want passion, admiration, respect, or safety. They want to feel that their relationship has a direction. They want to know that their love with you is leading somewhere, that it's not just a temporary high, but a lifelong journey worth fighting for. And when he feels that, ladies, he won't just fall for you, he'll fight for you every single day. So ladies, let's bring this all together. We started with a myth that sex is the strongest thing that makes a man fall in love. But now you know the truth. Yes, sex can spark attraction, but it's admiration that makes him feel seen, emotional safety that makes him feel safe enough to open up, respect that makes him feel valued, desire outside of the bedroom that makes him feel chosen, and a sense of purpose in the relationship that makes him feel like you're part of his destiny. These are the real needs that run deeper than lust. They're the needs that separate a fling from forever. They're the needs that turn a man's interest into commitment, his attraction into love, and his love into loyalty. And when you meet these needs authentically, not by pretending, not by forcing, but by showing up with your true feminine energy, you create a bond that no other woman can compete with. So if you've ever wondered why some men disappear after sex, it's because sex alone never touched their heart. But when you connect with these 5 needs, you're not just in his bed, you're in his soul. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 needs do you think men hide the most? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more relationship advice every week, and share this with a friend who deserves to feel truly loved. Because remember, ladies, it's not about being the woman he sleeps with. It's about being the woman he can't imagine living without.